what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about this straight drop situation. So straight drop and the second suspect in the Young Dolph murder case, Cornelius Smith, were both in court today, man. They both officially got indicted for the murder of Young Dolph, and there's a lot to unpack here, man. It looks like they were both in court and asked several questions by the judge, which they replied, and there was a lot going on as far as what's going to take place in the trial. But first, we need to get over the first stage of them getting a lawyer. That seemed like a big argument today, and the judge asked them several times, about their ability to get an attorney, and their answer was so, surefire that it was like he had to keep asking it, because in these cases, I'm pretty sure the judge is used to people not being able to have an attorney and have to use a public defender, but both of them played their case as far as, them being able to get an attorney and whatnot. Now, before we get to the clips and go over what the DA said as well, do me a favor, man. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about this situation that went on to court today. Well, so there was a story that was put out there by the Channel 3 News there, or the WREG News in Memphis, and the headline says this. It says, Young Dolph murder suspects appear in Memphis court. Now, they were both brought in this time because they were both facing the charges of shooting and killing Young Dolph, man. This is the first official court date, and they were both there to see the judge. Now, the story starts off by saying, two suspects in the murder of Memphis rapper Young Dolph appeared before a judge in a Memphis court for the first time on these charges Wednesday. But let's look at a quick clip of the second suspect in this case, Cornelius Smith, going into court and officially getting indicted. Now, let's check this out.
Mr. Cornelius Smith. Mr. Smith, good morning. Mr. Smith, we're going to ask you to raise your right hand with your handcuffs. So I'm going to tell you've been indicted by the grand jury of Smith. You charged in indictment 22-00014 with the offense of first-degree murder. Mr. Smith, that offense carries a sentence of life in prison. The state of Tennessee could also file a notice to seek the death penalty or to seek life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Now, you heard it right there. You have it right there. Basically, they let them know that, hey, this is your charge. You're being indicted on first-degree murder, and there's a possibility of getting life without parole, a life sentence, or even a death sentence in the state of Tennessee, man. So he's got those three possible outcomes as maximum sentences, depending on what the DA goes for, man, and depending on what their lawyer can argue for, man. And so this is the after effect of all that street stuff, man. It doesn't look good, man, when you look at it from this way. You see what I'm saying? Like, these cats are in court right now, man, and they talking about throwing life sentences, death sentence, or life without parole at them, man. Now, the judge went on to explain also that I guess in Tennessee, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, that if they were given life, just a life sentence with the possibility of parole, it wouldn't be up until 51 years. They'd have to do 51 years of the time before they could even go in for parole. So there is no good outcome in this if they lose this trial, if they lose this case, if they are found guilty. So this is a telltale sign of, man. Look, I mean, obviously, if they did, I don't know if they did it or not, right? They're suspects, so I don't know. Everybody's innocent until proven guilty. But even if, let's assume that was true and they're found guilty, dog, there is nothing that'd be worth all that. Worth your life in jail like that? No, man. Forget all that, man. Forget that, man. But let's continue on to the next clip where they're talking to Straight Dropp, or AKA Justin Johnson.
Justin Johnson. Mr. Johnson, good morning, sir. Mr. Johnson, in that indictment 2103333, you are indicted for the similar conduct, rather, let me rephrase that, as in 22-00014, rather, you're indicted for the same conduct as your co-defendant, Mr. Cornelius Smith. Count one charged you with first-degree murder.
Now, in that clip, you can see Straight Dropp, his whole demeanor is like, man, he didn't gave up on it. Like, he just don't care. He has a kind of a don't care demeanor or whatnot, right? And when he was called up, he was just, it sounded like he said, what's up? I was like, uh-oh. You know what I mean? Because sometimes things like that, the judge don't play, man. Judges do not play, man. But he sat there and he was responsive, but he was he basically got read off the charges, the same charges that Cornelius Smith is facing as well. You know what I mean? All the same charges with the theft, all of that, right? And even in the story, it touches on this. It says that the hearing was originally scheduled for Tuesday, but was postponed as the case was transferred to a new judge. So this judge that they got is somebody new. So I don't know if he has a reputation for being hard on people or what, but at this point, it just doesn't matter. Now, Johnson, also known as rapper Straight Dropp, and Smith have been charged with first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, being a convicted felon in possession of a firearm, employment of a firearm during a dangerous felony, and theft of property over $10,000. So those are the charges that they're looking at, man. It just isn't looking good. That's a lot of time stacked up on that sheet, right? Now, also, there was a debate about, them having a lawyer. Like, the judge was a little surprised that both of them real fast responded, no, I got money for a lawyer. We got money for a lawyer. Like, they were serious. He asked them several times, and they emphasized that. They were like, no, we've got money for a lawyer. Like, we'll have a lawyer within a week. Actually, Cornelius Smith, he said he'd have a lawyer within a week, and the judge kind of looked puzzled. He sounded like he was a little puzzled, so he asked him again, said, you have a lawyer in a week? He was like, yeah. And then Straight Dropp was like, nah, I have a lawyer too. So let's check out a little bit of that exchange.
Telling the Judge Coffee, I cannot afford an attorney. I will appoint an attorney for you. Do you understand it, sir? You can afford an attorney. Mr. Smith, stand up for a second also. Mr. Smith, if you tell me that you cannot afford an attorney, I will appoint a lawyer for you also. Do you understand it, sir? You tell me that you can afford an attorney. Mr. Johnson, Mr. Smith, you do not need the court to appoint an attorney for you. Is that correct?
Now, as you heard there, the judge asked them several times, was like, you can afford an attorney. And they were like, yeah, both of them were like, yo, we can afford an attorney. And he kept going in that circle. It went on for a while. It went on longer than that. And he even went on and continued, was like, okay, so you both can have an attorney within a short while. So then they said, you know what? We'll come back in 9 days and see if you have an attorney. So they'll be in court in 9 days from now to see if they have an attorney with them there. And then they'll proceed with the court case as usual. You know what I mean? So right now, since they don't have any legal representation, they have to kind of put the trial off. They have to postpone it until they have an attorney there for them. And the DA agreed on that part, right? So let's actually catch a little bit of what the DA said after the trial, right here.
Okay, so we saw, but what exactly happened today?
Today we had the two defendants, Mr. Johnson and Mr. Smith, in court for the first time on the murder of Adolph Thornton, Young Dolph. It was set for arraignment. Both of the defendants asked for more time to get attorneys hired. They said we'll come back in about a week and a half for that.
So what do you guys think about that? Because in the clip, you hear the DA basically said the same thing. He said that the judge brought him in here, told him that, asked him if they had an attorney, if they could get an attorney, and they both said, man, we can get an attorney. We got money for an attorney. I mean, they were confident about that, man. Where all this money coming from is what I'm asking. But, man, maybe that has nothing to do with this. Maybe they had money that they hustled for on the side. Maybe got something from rapping. I don't know, man. I don't know what Cornelius Smith does. I just know that Straight Dropp is sort of a rapper, you know what I mean? He was still trying to do his rap thing even before the indictment came down. But, yeah, so it looks like we'll be back in court with this case within the next 9 days, man. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think that it's kind of fishy that they both have money? Come on, 99% of the people who go to court ain't got money for an attorney, man. And they're not that confident. They be like, let me at least try the public defender the first time probably. But I do think that they've both been locked up before. They probably already have an attorney that they've worked with before. So we'll see, man. We'll see how this thing goes. But what do you guys think about this, man? Do you think that's fishy, or do you think it's just a normal court process? And, man, the trial seems like it's going to be getting kicked off sooner than expected. Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.